The women's all-around is next on CBC. Year after year, as the gymnastic women ascend the stage, the same question is whispered. How can they do it? The Cinderella sport, the names you'll remember. The joy of being awestruck by artistry and athletics. In gymnastics, it doesn't get much bigger than this. Welcome back to Sports Weekend's coverage of the World Artistic Gymnastics Championships from Nanning, China, and the Guangxi Sports Center Gymnasium. Scott Russell, along with Kyle Schufelt, women on the march for the all-around final. The top 24 from the first day of qualifying each compete for apparatus, vault, uneven bars, beam, and floor. Highest total wins, superstars in this field in Nanning, China, including Simone Biles of Columbus, Ohio, Kyle.
Simone Biles is a 2013 world champion in the all-around, and she is such a talented gymnast. She really is the class of the field here, and I think she's going to run away with the victory.
Only 17 years of age, Simone Biles led her team to the team final and also qualified first to the all-around final.
Not since 1994 has an American woman been able to defend a world all-around title, and Shannon Miller did it, 93, 94, back-to-back. Simone Biles is so exciting, so powerful, and she really is the total package in this sport.
Biles, the reigning all-around world champion, yet to compete at an Olympic Games. Here are three contenders for her crown.
From Russia, we have Aliya Mustafina, who is really always in the mix in the all-around, but never looking better. We have Larissa Iordache from Romania. She looks fantastic at these World Championships, and you can never count out Kyla Ross. She is consistent and always a contender.
World silver medalist in 2013. Then there's Ellie Black of Canada, 19, who can be powerful.
And she has a great shot of being the best ever Canadian finish here at the World Championships.
She's qualified to the all-around as well as to the beam final. Megan Chant of Waterdown, Ontario. Saw her at the Commonwealth Games.
Didn't move forward to the all-around final, but had a great performance towards the Canadian effort in the qualifying.
Isabella Onishko from Minnedosa, Manitoba.
Packed full of talent, but lacking a bit of that experience. You see a little bit of form errors here in the bar routine, but she is going to be a really bright spot for the Canadians in the future. Make sure to keep her name on your mind. There's going to be big things from her.
Young Canadian women wound up in 12th position after team qualifying, couldn't get to the final. So the first rotation in the women's all-around, as you look at Simone Biles, the other contenders, we get going with Larissa Iordache of Romania, and we will see her first up, Kyle, on the vault.
4 events in this all-around final: the vault, the bars, the balance beam, and the floor exercise. The top group is going to start on vault, and it's nice. We'll get back-to-back comparisons. She is so speedy, gets great height off the horse. That's a Yurchenko double twist. Small slide back. She runs faster than anybody else in the competition. Gets a nice push off the horse. Want to be between the corridor there. She has no problem.
Iordache of Romania, there's her score, 15.066 on the vault. Top Romanian gymnast of her generation. She lacks a world or Olympic title in her career to date. Aliya Mustafina of Russia. She qualified second to the all-around with a total in excess of 58.
She's steely-eyed, a very intense competitor. Does the same vault as Larissa, the Yurchenko double twist. Small form error on that second twist. She always has a bit of a knee bend. Gets a nice block off of the table, but you see the knees there a little bit bent and that shuffle back. The judges are looking for nice, clean execution, great height off of the table. There, that glaringly obvious bent knee will be a deduction off the execution score.
World all-around champion in 2010 in Rotterdam, Mustafina of Russia gets going. And the top group will be traveling together and beginning with the first event of the Olympic order, the vault.
Simone Biles drops out of the sky. Yurchenko 2.5 twist. You'll notice she adds a half twist compared to the rest of the competitors that we've seen so far, and she does it with such ease. She is definitely capable of that Yurchenko with a triple full. I love how square she is, great height, and you see she even has figured out how to keep her feet together, kind of clips her toes together so those feet don't come apart at all.
First score is huge for Simone Biles, 15.866. The likes of the great American gymnasts Kim Zmeskal, Shannon Miller, Chelsea Memel, now Simone Biles. Here's, well, a veteran of the sport, Vanessa Ferrari, the 23-year-old of Italy.
2006 world all-around champion. Does a Yurchenko double twist of her own. It's nice to get all of this comparison of the top group back to back to back. I've never seen her look better, and she really is like a fine wine. She is getting better with age. This is the best we've seen her look in a long, long time.
Got a nickname, the Cannibal, they call her. 14.866 for Vanessa Ferrari of Italy. Kyla Ross of the United States, silver medalist 2013 all around in Antwerp, Belgium. Can she challenge Simone Biles?
The only member of the Fierce Five competing on the American team. Of course, that's the 2012 London Olympic gold medal team. Kyla Ross was so young back then compared to what we see now. She's really matured into an elegant gymnast. She's tall. She's 5'5", and that height really adds some real class and style to her vault.
Her dad, Jason Ross, a minor league baseball player. 15.166 for Kyla Ross, about 7/10 back of Simone Biles on the vault. Yao Jinan of China, 19 years old, born in Fusan, gold all around and team at the 2014 Asian Games in South Korea.
Has looked a bit tired on the leg events at this World Championships. Isn't as powerful as she usually is. You see there was a bit of a pike down on the hips. Piking down, the judges will take that into account. You want to see the gymnast land with chest straight up.
She's a contender. She was third all around at the 2011 World Championships in Tokyo. Has some room to make up now. 14.533. Here's Ellie Black of Canada, Halifax native, on the balance beam. This is her event, Kyle.
What a special treat for us to get to see Ellie Black. Opens up her balance beam routine with the double turn. Small error there. She has the highest level of difficulty on this event in the entire world. In the qualification, she was at a 6.5 difficulty level. Love how quick she is. She just snaps in all of these skills, lands with that chest straight up. Difficult test coming up, a new addition to her routine this year. Something that contributes extensively to that difficulty score. Right here, the back handspring to full twist, rock solid. Ellie has been so impressive. At the London Olympic Games, she qualified to the vault final. At last year's World Championships, she made the all-around final as well as the floor exercise. And now here, she's qualified to the all-around and the balance beam. So she's established herself as someone who is competitive amongst many of the different apparatus.
Commonwealth Games champion on the balance beam, and that was convincing in Glasgow.
This is a nice chance for her to showcase in front of the judges one more time before the finals as well on this event.
We'll see her next Saturday on the balance beam apparatus final. Score here a little bit lower than she's used to, 14.53, coached by David Kikuchi at the Halifax Alta Club. After the first rotation, Simone Biles has the lead over her teammate Kyla Ross and Aliyah Mustafina of Russia. Ellie Black down in 6th spot. For the contenders, the uneven bars are next as CBC's coverage of the World Gymnastics Championships continues from Nanning. Nothing but blue sky in Nanning, home to Chinese legend Li Ning. 6 medals at the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles as the People's Republic of China made its Games debut. Second rotation of the women's all-around, Aliyah Mustafina of Russia. Third after the first event, that of course being the vault. And this is no question someone who can challenge Biles for the all-around championship. She's been the world champ before.
She has a huge advantage over Biles on the uneven bars. Mustafina is the Olympic champion from 2012 on this apparatus. She just floats on these release elements. At this World, she has downgraded her difficulty, watered down a little bit on this event. Usually has a connection right there, making her routine a little bit easier. Not sure why she made that decision. And on the dismount, full twisting double back, rock solid. That will most definitely help her efforts.
Been rock solid for a long time. The successor to the great Svetlana Horkina.
She's such a technician, as Horkina was on the uneven bars, has a real natural grace and ability on this event. Doesn't ever look labored, never muscles through the skills, has nice swing technique, smooth elegance.
15-1 on the vault, 15-0-4-1 on the uneven bars. Now, Simone Biles. She goes to the bars. Remember, the top gymnasts are working together on the same apparatus and will travel throughout the Olympic order. So it was vault first, then bars, then balance beam, wind up on the floor exercise.
Simone struggled earlier this year with a shoulder injury that has affected her difficulty level a bit. Her training time on this event wasn't as much as she wanted, but she is still so natural and gifted as an athlete. Strong as an ox and has air sense like a cat.
Fights through the uneven bars, the one event that she did not qualify for the apparatus finals here in Nanning.
Small leg separation on that skill called a Shaposhnikova. Look at the air time and the air sense. Knows exactly where she is. Bada boom, bada bing.
14-5-3-3 keeps her in first place with a total in excess of 30 after two events. Kyla Ross, silver at the last World Championships in Belgium on this apparatus. Here, she's the alternate in the finals, so didn't have the qualifying score she wanted.
She does lack a bit of that difficulty level compared to the top athletes like the Chinese, but her long lines make this routine so dreamy. Everything takes a little extra second. She really has proven herself as a consistent competitor. Never have we seen her miss a routine at the high level.
Nails that dismount in a puff of chalk.
It's her magic trick, Scott. This would be one of the only areas for deduction where those legs come apart. But the double layout, she knows exactly where she is. You can tell she's well practiced. She's done that routine 1,000 times.
14-7 for Ross on the bars, into third position behind Biles and Aliyah Mustafina of Russia. Now the bars, typically an area of strength for the Chinese gymnasts. You hear the crowd now as they anticipate the routine of Yao Jinan, the 19-year-old. She was the top qualifier to the event final on the bars.
You're exactly right, Scott. The Chinese do set the standard here. When they're in training, the entire training hall drools when the Chinese go to bars. You'll see those cables on the side are looking a little bit loose. The Chinese athletes apparently like it. Usually if they're tighter, it gives you a little more pop on the bars. But they clearly know what they're doing. Makes me a little nervous. She does have an ultra-difficult routine. We'll see her in the finals. And right there, not a question mark. That was superb.
Stands it right up, and she's got the crowd standing.
Really like all of the combination work she did in the routine. And you'll notice the Chinese don't wear the hand grips. The rest of the world has adopted those hand grips, but the Chinese athletes are still going barehanded.
Now we move on as we await the score of Yao Jinan to Alla Sosnitskaya of Russia. Qualified 9th to the all-around competition. She's on the balance beam now. She's only 17 years of age.
Has maturity beyond her years. A very poised competitor. Has a nice classical balletic style to her work, as do most of the Russian athletes. She floats through all of her elements. A very difficult one there. That's called an illusion turn. Balance beam has become a display of hard skills. Not too many connections are happening. It's difficult skill after difficult skill. Athletes are required to do 2 leaps in a row. That does fulfill the requirement. Also required to do a turning element, a spin. That was supposed to be a double turn. Takes it a little bit further. Fights to stay on. I like to see that grit. The dismount there, a few running steps back. That's the inexperience coming into play. The double turn overextends it. Has to fight to stay on.
Sosnitskaya of Russia, midway point of the all-around. Canada's Ellie Black improved her Florex score. Still a strong 7th. Up top, it's 2013 champ Simone Biles of USA, leading Mustafina of Russia and Yao of China, who has climbed to 3rd. Still to come, the main men of gymnastics. When it comes to team play, you've got to be strong across 6. Rotation number 3 in the women's all-around final. The top gymnasts are on the balance beam. Simone Biles of the United States is the leader in the competition.
Could easily extend her lead on the rest of the field on this apparatus. Starts things off with a very unique double turn, low down on the beam. She has a huge arsenal of tricks. She's improved a lot over the past year in terms of her execution and the artistry. She used to just be a trickster, and now she's starting to perfect all of those little details. Back handspring to 2 layouts. Small adjustment. Gets things in line. Sometimes you'll see the athlete push their legs down, get their arms into their side. You want to bring that center of gravity in as close as you can to the center of the balance beam. Right there, another small wobble. She is a perfectionist. She won't be satisfied with this routine, but it's going to keep her very close to the top of that leaderboard. And their world class full twisting double back dismount. No one else is going to be doing that here today.
But she may have opened the door slightly with a few wobbles on the routine.
Back handspring to 2 layouts. So difficult to stay in line. Right there you see a small little hiccup. But the dismount, full twisting double back, I've seen videos of her doing that with 2 twists.
14.766. Biles in first place for now, the defending all-around champion. Her teammate, Kyla Ross.
This routine is not flashy, but it is steady. Kyla's been struggling here at the World Championships with a bit of a hip injury. You can see the tape there on her left leg. But she's tough as nails. It says when she's competing, she forgets about it. Does hurt on those flexibility elements. It always amazes me how these young ladies can be up on something that's 4 inches wide, have a crowd of 10,000 watching them, and be so close to perfect.
Meantime, while they're competing, there are 3 other apparatus that are fully functional and also competing, so there are distractions in the gym.
It's really a dance between the athlete and the event that they're working on. All noise sort of blanks out. Becomes white noise in the background. Very steady and solid effort here. We haven't even seen one waver. Just a dismount left. It will be a double tuck.
Big smile from Kyla Ross of USA, the 17-year-old who is part of that gold medal team at the London Olympics. 14.433, reflecting perhaps a little bit of a lack of difficulty in the routine, puts her into second place. Ellie Black of Canada, flirting with a top 10 finish and perhaps a best ever Canadian finish in the all-around. Victoria Moores was 10th in 2013, Victoria from Cambridge, Ontario. Ellie right now about 7th.
And I see there a 6.2. That means she's going for her harder vault. Front handspring, front with a 1.5 twist. Just a little bit short. Shows a huge sign of courage, though. She's going for broke. She knows she has a chance here to really have the best Canadian finish. There you see the hand go down. The judges might not count that as a full fall, which would be 1 point off, but they are going to take a very large deduction.
There it is on the vault, 13.9 for Ellie Black in 5th spot so far. Still some gymnasts to come on the balance beam, including Yao Jinan.
Perfection is demanded by the Chinese coaches on the balance beam. You see in training, these athletes are performing anywhere from 8 to 10 routines a day. And the coaches are always watching. If something's a little bit off, they ask the athlete to go back and repeat it.
This has been her nemesis in the past. She was bronze all around at the World Championships in 2011. Had she not fallen off the beam, she might have won.
An interesting story about Yao Jinan is she actually changed her last name to Jiyi because in the Chinese language, Jinan means far away from gold or something similar to that in the translation. So she thought maybe her last name or her name was bad luck. At this World Championship, she has looked fabulous on both the uneven bars and on the balance beam. An interesting fact, a Chinese athlete has never won the all-around competition at the World Gymnastics Championships on the women's side. Dismount left, double pike, lands a bit short. Like I said on the vault, she's lacking a bit of that explosive power. Right there, exquisite style. 2 back handsprings, 2 a layout. And no one does these leaps better than the Chinese athletes. More than 180 degrees in that split.
And you're right, Kyle. Perhaps fatigue, a slight factor for Yao Jinan. 14.566, second place right now. Overall, Simone Biles continues to have the lead for the United States. Larissa Iordache of Romania.
And I really like her style. I have a preference for aggressive beam workers. She doesn't hold back. Starts things off right off the bat. Back handspring to full twist. Taking huge risk. This is Romania's pet event, dating back to the days of Nadia Comaneci.
Yes, the Olympics in Montreal, where Nadia made her name and endeared herself to a generation of sports fans. Meantime, Iordache won 4 of 5 titles at the recent Romanian Championships, and in that country, that's tough to do.
She is setting the standard for all of the young, up-and-coming Romanian athletes. Good decision there. She was supposed to do a leap right after that jump, was a little bit off, and decided to leave it out. There will be no deduction for that. has total confidence in this routine, has barely had a waver. If she did have one, she covered it up nice and clean. Does this better than anybody else. Round off to back handspring, triple full. Maybe when she's retired, she could give a clinic on that to the rest of the world.
It's definitely the best beam routine we've seen so far in this all-around competition. Larisa Iordache of Romania making a play now. 15-1, moves up to second spot behind Biles. Alia Mustafina of Russia. She won beam at the Russian Cup, won beam at the 2013 World Championships in Antwerp, Belgium.
To be a great beam worker, you have to mount that beam telling yourself, I will not waver, I will not waver, I'm going to be strong and my body line will be square. You have to have that fight right from the get-go. Small waver there on the Arabian. She has beautiful fingers right down to the point of her toe. Everything is really refined. Nice combination there. Off to the side on the Hanodi. There, another one. Almost seems as if she's losing her concentration a little bit. Or perhaps they turned on the air conditioning here in the stadium. A little windy. Just like men's parallel bars, the balance beam, any mistake you make is so glaringly obvious. Dismounts, round off to double tuck, and there is the fighter. Goes in for the stick.
Solid on the beam, wavering just to stay aboard.
If those shoulders are off to the side, there's nothing you can do but wave your arms to try to stay back on.
A bit of a struggle. 14-3-4-1 for Mustafina. Romanian gymnast Iordache is closing in on Simone Biles, separated by just over a tenth now. Yao Jinan not far back. Ellie Black looking at a best-ever Canadian finish. She is eighth with uneven bars yet to come. You're watching the World Gymnastics Championships from China on CBC. Back to Nanning for the final rotation of the women's all-around. We'll return next Saturday to ET with the individual apparatus finals. 10 events, 6 for the men, 4 for the women. Ellie Black of Canada has qualified for the beam final. All contenders for the gold medal will compete on what's known as the Olympic order and finish on floor exercise. Simone Biles, Iordache of Romania, Yao Jinan of China. This is the marquee event for women's gymnastics. And first up, in the final rotation, Kyla Ross of the United States.
Has worked extensively on improving her artistry. Can appear a little bit stiff sometimes, but this routine is much improved over the past, and the tumbling is solid. Excellent effort from Kyla Ross.
Has some catching up to do. She was the silver medalist all around in 2013 at the Worlds. Trying to get into medal position here.
Sneaky way of covering up that landing with a jump. It was planned. And the dismount here, fairly simple double tuck, but does it really cleanly. The judges now want to see the athletes land with their feet together, so that step back is a deduction.
13.933 will move Kyla into first place for now, but it's early in this final rotation. Roar of the crowd for 19-year-old Yao Jinan. Bronze medalist all around, Tokyo 2011, in position for a medal here.
I've been saying it throughout the show today, but she's lacking the speed and the explosive power that we've seen in the past from her at this World Championships. She's going to be looking to gain a lot of her bonus marks, her difficulty marks in the dance elements. You see she's wearing socks. That, to me, says she's going to be doing a lot of different unique turns. One of those turns coming up here. Double turn with the leg up. The dance elements do hold just about as much weight as the tumbling skills. There, that lack of power coming into play. Very short on the triple full.
Stumbled out of that twist.
Endurance is going to play a key factor for her here. When you're at the end of the routine, your legs are tired. Big mistake there. Tries to cover it up. But I don't think the judges are going to be fooled.
And again, she seems to have stumbled at just the wrong time.
Like, you got to give her an A for effort here, trying to cover it up with a cartwheel, but the judges, they're going to see beyond that.
12.833 for Yao Jinan. Drastically hurts her chances. Larissa Iordaki of Romania.
Let's talk about intense endurance. She really doesn't stop moving in this routine, and it just shows her amazing shape and fitness. Starts things off big, double twisting, double back.
Just back of Simone Biles heading into this final apparatus. A 10th back.
Step out of bounds there. The 1/10 will be deducted from the execution. Scott, she really has peaked at this World Championships, though. She has never looked better.
Looking for that first big international win. But a mistake at the outset of the program.
Taking a moment here in the choreography to try to get some air into those lungs. Big tumbling pass, full twisting double pike. That's an upgrade from the qualifying.
Larissa Iordaki of Romania, her country's top gymnast.
Opening pass, double twisting, double back. Doesn't get much better than that. I love this triple twist.
Hopeful and happy. 14-7-3-3 for Yodake. Moves her into first place for now. Recall that Simone Biles still to come, and she was the 10th back, the Romanian, after the third apparatus. Meantime, Ellie Black, uneven bars. Tough to score here. She's trying to better Victoria Moores of Canada, who was 10th at the last World Championships in Antwerp.
This is not Ellie's forte, but she has significantly improved over the past couple of years on this event. Has added some nice releases and combinations like that one, Jaeger into Pac Salto. Ellie's 19 years old, has decided to stay in Canada and train, attends Dalhousie University, and I just love how she continues to improve. Excellent effort. I think that will lead to a best ever Canadian finish.
3 medals at the Commonwealth Games, including gold on the balance beam. Ellie Black of Canada looking at a best ever Canadian finish. Alia Mustafina of Russia, floor exercise, trying to get into the medals.
Big first pass, big test here. And she sits down. That is 1 point off that execution score. She's not going to have a chance here today.
That will leave things up to Simone Biles.
One of the hardest things to do as an athlete is to get up after you fall when you know you don't have a chance, and to put in a great effort to take it to the very end. Pride's on the line here. Very unique triple turn with the leg up. One of only a couple athletes to do that skill. Scott, she wants to win. You can see the disappointment in her eyes.
That early sit down, Ellie Black's score on the uneven bars, 13.883, and that's enough to do it. She'll be in the top 10.
Let's see where things went wrong here. Opens up a little bit early, didn't quite hold on to that tuck position for too long. You know what she was doing? She was going for broke. She was going for the stuck landing.
13.433, third place. Yodake of Romania has the lead. Talaras of the United States is next. Still to come was the leader after 3 rotations. That, of course, being Simone Biles of the United States, the defending all-around champion. But her margin over Yodake of Romania was a 10th.
Needs a 14.6 in order to take the title. She did score a 15.366 in the qualification. Scott, I don't think the world has ever seen a better tumbler than Simone Biles. It's like a walk in the park for her. Way too easy.
Incredible height. She's way up in the rafters.
She does drop out of the sky. This is her own original pass, called a Biles. Double layout with a half twist. Power to spare. Practically walks into her double layout. I believe we are looking at our new world champion.
And repeat world champion. Incredibly knowledgeable, appreciative crowd here in Nanning. Simone Biles is bound for Olympic superstardom. Larissa Yurdaki knows her fate today. Look at that. 15:06.6 for Simone Biles. The final results. She defends her championship, a second consecutive all-around title, pulls away from Yurdaki with a great floor axe. Again, Yao Jinan falters. Kyla Ross of USA claims bronze. For Canada's Ellie Black, a little history. The 19-year-old Haligonian winds up ninth. Kyle, that's a best-ever Canadian finish.
And she earned it. She went for broke here in the competition, tried the harder vault, comes up a bit short, but wow, the potential with a mistake, she's ninth. Imagine what she can do.
Here's the BBC's Nick Hope with Ellie Black.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Ellie, your result today is the top finish by a Canadian woman in an all-round final in history at Worlds. Your perspective on that?
It was incredible. I mean, I went out there just to try and show what I can do and not really thinking about the end result, but to come ninth is incredible for me. I mean, I've been working really hard to increase my standings in the all-around and become an all-around gymnast, so I was so pleased with that.
I guess fitness, strength, everything comes into it in that event, doesn't it? Because it's so long.
Oh yeah, you have to do all four events, so you have to be strong on all four, and it's not just individually. And you know, that's something I've been really, really working towards in the past couple of years.
Your program isn't over though just yet. You've got the balance beam final to come. What's going to be key there?
Just trying to be really consistent and going in and trying to do my routine the way I want to and the best I can and try and enjoy the whole experience.
Thanks for your time, Ellie. Back to you, Scott Russell.
Thanks so much, Nick. Social media, Ellie's all over it. Gymnastics Canada congratulating her on a landmark finish, ninth all around. By the way, Montreal in the running for the 2017 World Gymnastics Championships. They officially filed the bid this week with the International Federation. Simone Biles, a 17-year-old, the second World Championship in a row for her. A star-spangled rocket on the rise, getting all fired up for the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro just under 2 years down the line. 600 gymnasts from 70 countries, the World Artistic Gymnastics Championships from the epicenter of the sport in China. Next week, the specialists take the stage, the event finals. For Kyle Schufeld, I'm Scott Russell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Sports Weekend.